Well, let's go ahead and jump into the series as it is ready for us. I'm excited. I hope you guys are as well. Spawning down here in the bottom left in the red. Give it up for the Terran from Kaizi Gaming. It is innovation.
And here, spawning at the top right, playing for Team NV. He's our purple Zerg. He is DRG. And StarsFallDim, I'm not sure about you, but I'm smelling some dirty cheese here.
Yes, indeed. And now, I am curious to see how far Innovation is willing to take this. Now, he just got done playing against Rogue. I didn't get to see the first couple of games, so I don't know exactly how much Innovation did cheeses like this. Like, obviously, his game 4 or game 3 or whatever was a battle cruiser rush. So this time, going into a double racks, finally getting gas. So we will eventually see. Oh man, DRG scouting this out. So good. We'll be able to see this. So Innovation not going to have the ruin of surprise, but DRG trying to kind of delay the second one, and in fact will for quite a little bit. It is going to be Marines coming out from Innovation, but DRG has so much time now to be ready for this. Even going into a Roach Warren behind this for a follow-up. So, such a good start coming out for DRG.
Yeah, if you can kind of scout that early on, that just gives you so much time to prepare. Not only can you just pull 3 drones and try to kill the SCV's building bunker, but if you decide not to do so, just head straight into the Roach Warren, and most likely you should be fine.
Looks like Innovation going to be switching up into the Reaper play behind this. And against Roaches, I don't know how I necessarily like this, but we do see a few links trying to come over to the barracks to kind of clean up some of the reinforcements, while the Marines and the bunker going down for Innovation, going into the natural. So I don't think DRG... Oh, he sees it now. We'll see how far this ends up going, as we are going to go more and more into Reapers behind this. And I don't know, with 3 Roaches coming out, I think that's going to be more than enough. Adding on 2 more. And looks like he's going to try to shut down the bunker. Not going to be able to. Eventually, we'll just start making his way across the map. Already the links trying to shut down the depot, but with a Reaper at home, eventually we'll be able to kind of hold this off. And I don't know who holds it here, Innovation or if DRG can make a comeback. He's got multiple queens out, and he is getting more roaches, so I guess there is that possibility.
Yeah, there's no SCV to prepare this bunker, so it seems like DRG will be able to take this bunker down no problem and be able to save that hatchery, and that's going to be so crucial. In the meantime, those 2 roaches that initially went through and pulled through the bunker, or walked through the bunker rather, will go ahead and force a bunker here at the main base. So all in all, not a bad defense.
Yeah, and we see behind this Innovation going for basically a 3cc behind this, and it's going to take quite a while for Innovation's barracks to return back home. So this is perfect timing for DRG to get those roaches up, to get his economy up and booming. At the same time, be able to put on some pressure across the map. There is a starport going down for Innovation behind all this, but I think for the moment, DRG held this off perfectly. He is ahead in workers, he's ahead in army. I think he can feel very confident going into the next stage of this fight.
Yeah, now there are a couple of scenarios that DRG can opt for, because again, he did spot the 3rd CC with the Overlord. So, he knows that Innovation is playing it really greedy, and that his tech is going to be so behind. And so there's 2 ways you can play it. DRG can either just macro up, just go crazy on the drones right now and just plant those hatcheries, or he can go for a quick Nidus play. Now, seeing that he was only working off of a non-layer and just only now getting that those 2 additional gases in Natural. That just tells me that DRG is more is looking for a more macro game instead of going for like the all right kill with the Nidus play.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's kind of that epitome of if you're ahead, get more ahead. And he's like, you know what? I was able to defend it. I really didn't lose anything. I think he lost like a handful of lings, if that. And then like a couple of roaches at the most, right? So it really went well for him. He's able to get his drone count up. He's got that 3rd base already coming through. I mean, it looks really good for him. He didn't have to sacrifice his drones that much. Now, behind this, Innovation is adding on those eBays. He's getting his upgrades kind of going through. And it does look like Innovation is trying to go for this double, like, Cyclone drop, which is something we haven't seen in quite a while. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with it. I mean, I guess against some roaches it's okay, but DRG now can just get super aggressive with this. He's going to go with 20 more lings. And there's no tanks here, so, you know, this has the possibility to do a lot of damage, especially with the Ravagers in play.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough hold. No tank, not a lot of bunker, just a bunch of Cyclones, which probably going to lock onto those lings instead. But okay, the first tank does come out, but I think it's a little bit too late here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good possibility this is just going to get so many pot shots off, but with the Corrosive Biles going down on the tank, it's just going to be taking it out. We do have those Cyclones trying to focus down onto the Ravagers, but once again, those Corrosive Biles is going to be so crucial here. More lings on the way as I follow up. There is a Viking that will potentially land behind this, but this is just looking really good right now for DRG. Innovation has a tank getting ready to pop out, trying to shut down the upgrades. And yeah, I mean, if you're Innovation behind this, I mean, I guess the good thing is the Viking is going to be able to kind of eliminate some of that high ground advantage for DRG, so he's not going to be able to Corrosive Bile onto the tanks until he gets into range. But yeah, not a bad start here.
Yeah, for sure, especially those taking out those engineering bays. That's gonna incredibly slow down the upgrades. So DRG with that attack gonna end up about 20 workers ahead with faster upgrades as his evolution chambers just finished. And right now, this is DRG's game to lose. It's basically, you know, the ball's in his court. He can do pretty much anything. He can tech up to Mutalisk if he wants to right now. He goes straight into Hive. He can just plant down another 4th hatchery right now. I mean, yeah, he's just pretty gonna be sitting back and just like playing this game really effectively and very smartly at this point.
Definitely. I mean, he's just now went up to a layer, so that will open up more of a possibility of, like you said, going into that Spire tech, going into, you know, even Hydra Lurker we've seen lately. 4th base is going to be on the way for DRG, and the Viking out is going to be a little annoying. Eventually does get taken care of by the Queen, but look at this. We got that big push coming out once again from Innovation. Going to go up towards the 3rd base. Now there's a lot of lings, and he actually will see this. So this will give an opportunity to make a bunch of roaches for DRG, but I'm almost kind of concerned for him here. Is Innovation going to be able to eventually take out this 3rd base?
Yeah, but you know what? It wouldn't be the worst thing to, you know, lose his 3rd base. I think he can actually evacuate it, but he needs the army right now. And oh no, his army's just lining up one by one, and Innovation just catches the DRG with his pants down.
Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and jump into game number 2. Let's see how things transpire. Spawning up here in the top left in the red, the Terran. It makes it work. Give it up. It is Innovation.
And spawning here at the bottom right is our purple Zerg playing for Team NV, looking to tie up the series. Can he do it, guys? It is DRG.
Alrighty. Well, one thing that, you know, we've talked about Innovation, how he has kind of been considered like a robot for a long time. His play was very like methodical, very organized, and we do actually see him doing another 2 racks coming out. in game number 2. So getting cheeky once again, but he has a very, very good macro where if you do not take care of his, his macro at all, he just makes so much stuff. So really kind of helped him out. I think definitely some of the engagements coming out from DRG and just like taking a 4th base so late and not, like you said, not getting those scatter pylons. Maybe things would have been different if he had a little bit more time to set up. But it's a new game, new style. We'll see what happens as Innovation is going to be going into those Marines once again for another attack. Now, I believe DRG's Overlord does scout the SCV coming across, but we'll see how things kind of happen here, as it does look like DRG going to send out a drone to try to deal with this.
Yeah, the Overlord did spot one of the SCVs, so he knows something is up. He's going to go ahead and try to delay this bunker as long as possible. But being that there is a Marine to back it up, we'll go ahead instead pull more drones. If he can kind of get the cancel on this bunker and force him to delay this bunker here, then it's a win. But looks like he's just going to go focus on those Marines. Drone's going to go try to get this around. Can he do it? Those Marines are kiting really nicely though, and a lot of these drones are in the red.
Yeah, he's got to pull back now. We do actually have the Lings out for DRG. Wants to try to keep that Marine count as low as possible to kind of help defend this. And unfortunately, the micro coming out here from Innovation looking pretty good. We'll be able to clean up those Lings and start pushing across once again. This time it's just going to be straight up Marines for Innovation. Queen is out though, and that makes this a lot tougher for Innovation to keep pushing in here. But the fact that he's been able to kill out, 8 Lings and 3 drones, I definitely gotta say it's been worth it here for Innovation for what he's lost.
Yeah, that worked out pretty nicely, I think, for Innovation in terms of the efficiency. But at the end of the day, DRG does hold. So
yeah. And now if Innovation wants to continue, well, he's still got quite a few Marines, so still has to be careful. DRG does, but eventually if Innovation does pick up these barracks and send them back home, which looks like he is going to start doing that, it does give an opportunity for DRG to, make some more stuff and not have to worry about it. There's not going to be a whole bunch of Marines coming out from that for quite a while until they actually get across to the base. But Lings eventually coming back here to help. Queen's just barely surviving. Even having to pull the drones to try to deal with this.
Oh my god, run, Queen! Oh man, both of these Queens.
Yeah, so close. We do see a 3rd base for DRG coming across. And this time only a single CC coming down for Innovation. Maybe he sends out another one soon, but looks like he might get a little bit more aggressive this time, not being as greedy.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to get something because all the advantage that he got from that efficient Marine cheese kind of got thrown out the door with all those Marines basically gone. They didn't really get anything. If he got into two Queens, then that's a different story. But those Queen micro was able to save those 2 Queens. I think that kind of evens up the playing field a bit. So the Innovation is going to go ahead and try to get some additional drone kills with this Hellion drop. Now, this is going to be a 3 Hellion drop. It's going to be important for DRG to get some vision on his main base. And look at that. He is going to spread those Overlords.
Yeah, I mean, he's even got the Queens in position. Was looking for a 4 Hellion drop, but the Ling's able to pick one off with a beautiful surround. And it's going to be Banshees as a follow-up for Innovation behind this, as well as we do see the Bailing Nest coming in. Looks like now trying to go into the main, but yeah, he didn't psych out DRG any at all. So Ling's just going to be kind of going around, and we will eventually see a layer on the way. I would be curious to see, does he go into maybe Mutas behind this, considering how much tech Innovation has gone onto the ground, right? We've got the Hellion play coming out, we got the Banshees. I think the most logical thing here for DRG is just go up to that Spire tech and play from here.
Yeah, because Innovation making Hellions and Banshees, both of them don't kill Mutalisk or shoot at Mutalisk, so I think DRG would benefit greatly if he did go for the Mutalisk tech. But The lair just started, so it's going to be quite a while before that gets up and running.
Yeah, definitely. We finally got a third base on the way now for Innovation. He's still got a handful of those Hellions alive. He's actually got 7 alive still, 4 of them in that medevac. Still trying to find a way into the main base to deal damage, but the Ling's still in present, still just keeping Innovation at bay. We do see the Lings finally going out for DRG as spotter Lings this time, so just wants to make sure he sees us, but he's still not going to see the Banshees coming across. That's insane. Yeah, it looks like Lay is about finished up, and now Innovation going to go into the main.
Oh, he caught DRG sleeping just a little bit of a second there. Was able to throw down those Hellions, but nice surround there will force the rest of these Hellions to back out. But in comes those Banshees.
Yeah, we do actually have the Spire Tech on the way now. It's going to be thrown down into the main, actually, or in the natural. Banshees are going to start putting on some pressure. Kill off a couple of drones so far. 9 in total have gone down. The Queens, though, in position, and will eventually kind of force. Yeah, he's going to get some more kills here. Ooh. Dang. I think that was a total of 14 14 drones going down, in total 18 altogether, as we do see the Banshees still just putting on pressure wherever they can, focusing down the Baylings. And Innovation has not yet scouted the Spire Tech, but almost wonder if it's even going to be there in time, as we do see Innovation coming in with the Hellions and the Marines for another little push here.
Oh, this is going to be a tough one. Not a lot of Banelings here. Actually, the Banelings are trying to morph in, but all the lanes get evaporated. These Queens trying to hold on for their life, but all of them are out of energy. And these Banelings going to be slow Banelings, no centrifugal hooks, but does force the liftoff, and now back into the main base.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to be able to continue to kind of go back and forth until these mutas do come out. He's only got 2 mutas on the way. It looks like going up to 5. Queen's able to kind of clear this up for the most part, even taking a 4th base in front of Innovation, saying, hey, come at me, bro. And now going up to 8 mutas, we are going to start seeing that kind of counteract. And as we look across the map, there's no hint. Oh my, okay, never mind. He does have the E base, but he has no turrets up. So these mutas have a lot of potential to get damage done if he just sends them across, which doesn't look like he, well, yeah, it is now.
Oh, but he's sending it at the same time that this attack is pushing. Does DRG force them back, or does he just go straight into the bases of Innovation? Looks like he has elected to send those Mutalisks across the map and hopefully have enough units back at home to defend.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of Bailings. He's got Bailing speed on the way. I think he just sacked this 4th base. He's retaking it at the top. Same time, we do see those mutas getting the damage done into the main base, into the natural, just trying to clear up wherever they can to even things up. And once Bailing speed finishes up, you just get on top of this. I mean, the tanks, yeah, they'll be able to get some pot shots off, but not bad. I think we've got, yeah, he's only got like 10 altogether SEVs killed, so not as worth it. But it does at least force something out from Innovation. It forces those turrets out. It forces Innovation to be somewhat defensive and also be on his guard, especially if DRG continues very heavy into this kind of muta style.
Yeah, the important thing is that he did not lose those Mutalisks, and he's able to kind of increase their numbers. And if they get to that optimal amount of Mutalisk count.
Ooh, a huge Bailing hit there. Was actually burrowed in Innovation, losing a big chunk of his Marines to a huge play there. The tanks are going to siege up onto the high ground, but this makes it a lot better for DRG going into the sea. Still going across with the with the Lings and the mutas, actually clearing up that 3rd base and forcing a huge pick off there. So very well done here from DRG. Just going to go ahead and back up, trying to stay out of range of the tanks, and even has a Ling across the map to force some of the plays coming out from Innovation. Bailing's going to roll in, going to be able to start clearing off a bunch of these tanks, and this is not looking good for Innovation.
Oh, but the rest of Innovation Reinforcement does come through here. DRG is going to have to morph in some additional Banelings, and also probably wait for the rest of his reinforcement to arrive here. This is going to be a tough hold. I mean, the army supply is neck and neck.
Definitely. Baneling's looking to crash in here. The Muta's trying to get on top of everything. The Marines split pretty well against this. And with the cloak from the Banshees, eventually they will be taken out. GG's, and DRG going to tie things up. All right, let's go ahead and jump into game number 3. Spawning down here in the bottom left in the red, the Terran from Kaizi Gaming. It is Innovation.
And spawning here at the top right, we have our purple Zerg. Looking to take the series lead. Can he do it? It is DRG.
Right, so
first game without a cheese here, a 2-Rex proxy. So Innovation gonna play it standard, it seems, this time around.
well, you would hope so. He is going to be going into the refinery and getting things set up. Now, he has been known to go into those kind of very heavy starport builds, going into, you know, battle cruisers, and sometimes, not as often, going into mech. I wouldn't mind seeing him just play like a normal game, you know, go into a Reaper, get some Hellions, just kind of put some pressure onto the front, keep control of the creep, because DRG's creep is pretty good. But then also, wouldn't mind seeing Innovation just kind of tech up from there, go into a bunch of Marines, go into mines if DRG wants to play, you know, this Ling Bane style. But we'll see where he wants to go. I mean, he is going to be taking an expansion, so it's any guess from here.
Yeah. Now on this map of Oxide, I feel like it's actually a pretty good map for maybe a tank Marine kind of army composition for Innovation. Some of the tanks can kind of hide behind some of these rock choke points, and it's really effective. It makes it harder for those Lings to get the surround and the surface area on top of those tanks. So wouldn't be surprised if Innovation decides to go for that route. DRG though, he went with the Baneling Mutalisk last game, and he is actually pretty strong in that kind of you know, that Mutalisk Baneling control. So I also could see him very well going for that same build. But you know, I'm not sure how you feel about Roaches on this map. I don't know if Roaches is that great.
I don't think Roaches are that great, because one thing you gotta consider is there's a lot of ramps going up into the bases. Roaches are good on, you know, flat ground surfaces, but trying to fight up a ramp just is not that well. You kind of talked about it, how there's different choke points, there's different angles like that. I really wouldn't mind seeing DRG go into lurkers this game, especially against a player like Innovation, who, you know, you're going to have to force him to play kind of wonky to go around it. You know, also with the cliffs, you know, we could see Innovation trying to, you know, throw down a couple of tanks on the low ground and shoot up, but with the third base going down in that kind of vein, it just makes it hard for Innovation to do something like that. So I think for DRG, maybe going into that kind of, you know, lurker style of play would be really good for him.
Yeah, I could definitely see lurker play working out pretty well here. Also, I think maybe if Swarmhost play, maybe. I mean, you can do something like Nidus play onto the left side and onto the right side, just like keep throwing waves of locusts at your opponent and kind of wear him down. I could see DRG also doing that too.
Yeah, I mean, there's just that's the thing too, is like there's so many different possibilities for Zerg right now to do in, you know, this meta, and just kind of where we're at in StarCraft. It does look like Innovation is going to be going for a Marine Hellion style push, going into Banshees behind this, and right now there's not a lot of Lings here. There's only a few Queens. Going to go into Hellbats, and the Lings looking for us around the Marines in the back. Going to try to deal some damage. Actually picks off one of the Queens. Going to get some Lings as well. Now, keep in mind, there is no Baneling Nest here for DRG, so there is a big possibility this does a lot of damage. Innovation trying to macro around those Hellions, trying to keep them alive as long as possible. Queens, though, starting to get spread, but the help of the Marines able to kill off quite a few of these Queens, and DRG in some serious trouble here.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a close one, but it looks like just the skin of his teeth with the reinforcements of those Lings will be able to take out the rest of the army. And let's see here, how did it end up? Ooh, 25 Lings, 5 Queens versus 8 Hellbats and 4 Marines with a medevac. I would say Innovation had the better end of that trade.
I definitely think so. The big thing, though, is Innovation didn't kill off a base. He didn't really get... I mean, he killed off, like, the Lings, he killed off the Queens, but he didn't kill off the economy of DRG, so DRG is still going to be able to make more and more units. He's going to be able to continue progressing in that way. We already see the layer on the way, and it looked like DRG was ready for a counterattack after defending that, but it's definitely scary when you don't have a Bailing Nest, when you are having to sit there and try to defend that purely on Ling Queen. It definitely is a scary feat.
Oh, these Hellions got some nice pot shots, but oh, with the Lynx around, these Hellions go bye-bye, sleep time. And that... I would have loved to see those Hellions just kind of tuck into the mineralized instead of trying to get going out and get surrounded by those Lings. I think he would have gotten more value out of them.
I spy with my little eye some Terrans going mech.
Ooh.
And it's kind of interesting because we actually see the Spire coming down now for DRG behind this. And Innovation is just making Hellions. He's got the Blue Flame coming through. He will eventually, I think, go into probably a Thor to try to counteract that. But for the most part, he's just going into Hellions here. So this gets a little spicy. If DRG can keep the muted play secret long enough and Innovation doesn't catch on, we might find ourselves in a really good position here for DRG. But Innovation not able to land the third base and just trying to find his way home, or trying to find a way around in the base.
So the one weakness of going for mech is that you're not going to have a lot of anti-air, because you're mainly going for Hellions, Banshees, maybe even Cyclone, well, I guess a little bit of Cyclones. This Overlord is going to be able to block out this third base for quite some time, unless there is a, looks like a Cyclone is being made here. But okay, there we go. Hero Marine will take out that Overlord.
Yeah, it looks like Innovation can be going into Cyclones behind this, so we're going to go into that old battle mech style play, and against this many mutas, going into 10 mutas, it's very scary. I mean, he's going to lose a lot of drones here to these Blue Flame Hellions. Loses a total of, looks like about 30 or so drones, so getting the damage, but the Lynx coming in here, picking off whatever SCVs they can at the same time. Almost, not really a base trade situation, but actually going to be able to pick off one of the Cyclones, one of the only units that can shoot up against the mutas. And here come the flock. It's like the scene from Mighty Duck, and they're all just kind of in a pattern. But this time, chasing the Cyclones will eventually be able to take that out. And unfortunately, there's not enough here. I mean, he is making mines to transition out of this and try to defend a little bit better, but with the Cyclones coming out one at a time, the oh no, okay.
Oh boy.
Oh,
what is this game?
Do what?
What is this game? This Hellions like killing all these drones, and then now all these Mutalisks are just going to kill a command center. I mean, this is just insane.
Just a scrappy game altogether, and DRG doing a good job keeping away from the mines, but at the same time, Innovation trying to get damage done on the other side. He realizes the predicament he is in. His third base gets shut down. He's only on 2 bases. He's sending across the Cyclones as much as possible. DRG actually going into roaches behind this, but he still has to be careful. Innovation is going into very heavy mines. There's no detection for these, so he's got to make sure he's careful. Innovation, though, doing a pretty good job of actually not letting those mines go off on the couple of Lings there. So just trying to push across, but this is just a scrappy game.
It looks like DRG gonna try to transition to roaches for the time being, because you know roaches probably better deal with the mech play here. But oh wow, all these Widow Mines going on top of those lings. Now Mutalisk are trying to get on top of the rest of the Cyclones, and they do outnumber it. And yeah, GG's.
Spawning in the top right, the Red Terran. It is Innovation.
And spawn here at the bottom left, rocking the NV emblem. He is our purple Zerg. It is DRG. Or also known as Dongrigu. Do you normally refer to him as Dongrigu or just DRG?
Do what?
Do you usually refer to him as just DRG or Dongrigu? Like
in my head, I know him as Dongrigu, but for casting purposes, it's so much easier just to say DRG. Because I mean, I've known DRG since he played in Wings of Liberty. So for me, it's always been Dongrigu, and then now when he's come back, he's kind of made sure to shorten it to DRG, and it's just so much easier to pronounce.
Yeah, same here. I think DRG. You know, make it easier for us casters, and so you know we just usually go for the easier pronunciation.
Definitely. So, no proxies coming out from Innovation. So super excited to see where he wants to go. Now he is behind by a game. DRG obviously on match point here, and I've really got to say, in this whole thing today, DRG has been so good. I think overall he hasn't lost a set yet, and it's just been solid play. He hasn't gotten really cheeky, he hasn't done anything super aggressive. He's just sat back. He's said, okay, they're trying to cheese me, let me go ahead and counteract that. They're playing, you know, kind of a funky way, let me just get aggressive, let me do my thing. And let's just kind of go from there. So Innovation has his work cut out for him, but we have seen Innovation do a fairly good job against what DRG's done. But DRG is just playing on another level today.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, thank you, some drunk Canadian, for the raid. Appreciate it. But yeah, like you mentioned, DRG has been playing really well. And remember, right now the score is 2-1, but it could have very easily been 3-0, because that first game, DRG was actually significantly ahead. It's just that Innovation just caught DRG with his pants down and was able to steal that game. So this very well could have been a quick 3-0. And unfortunately, you know, it's a well, I guess I wouldn't say unfortunately, because it's more games for us to cast. But unfortunately for DRG, it's actually a 2-1, and Innovation looking to tie up the series for a potential Game 5.
Definitely. Alrighty, so we got third base coming out from DRG. Innovation does have that Reaper across. Just trying to get some scouting information, and so far, just going to be Lings coming out from DRG. Nothing too crazy. He's got that speed on the way. Innovation finally going into a somewhat standard opening. He's going to be going into a third base. He's got the Hellions. He's got a Banshee getting ready to be on the way as well. And yeah, I mean, so far a more normal game than we have seen. I am kind of curious, though, eventually, like, I think the mech play was like a one-off, but I would love to see him do like an actual mech and not just a battle mech kind of style.
Yeah, well, right now he is, well, I guess not a good indication of whether he's going to go full-on mech or whether he's going to add in some more barracks, but we should see it soon. The third base is about to...
He does have stem on the way, so that does suggest that he's going to go into bio this game. And I think on a map like 2000 Atmospheres, bio is pretty good. I mean, obviously there are still a lot of choke points. You know, this map is pretty decent for lurkers, for roaches. So I wouldn't mind seeing DRG go for something like that, but Innovation will go into that bio, and then eventually we should see another kind of push. I think more or less going to go towards the third base with tanks and Marines. and just try to kind of force his opponent into a bad situation. Kind of similar to the one that he ended up winning in game number 2.
All right, looks like both players are pretty much just macroing up. Unfortunately, we don't have the WCS mod, so can't pull up the graphs and stuff. But
Yeah.
I guess we could go in the income tab here. As you can see, pretty much even or so. Yeah, because both players are just basically macroing up, not really going for any big pushes, and we should see, these players just kind of morph in their army composition, and then we'll see if one of them decides to move out.
Yep. Well, both players are getting +1. You do see Stem about finished up for Innovation. 4th base on the way for DRG, and actually going to be going up into Lair at the same time. Now, we do have a Bailing Nest coming down, so this will allow DRG to go into Bailing Speed as soon as it gets done. And Innovation trying to be annoying with the Banshees. Fortunately, not getting a whole lot of kills. It looks like he's only been able to get like 3 kills on the drones from that one Banshee, and already switched over to the medevacs. He's got Marines on the way and tanks. The Hellions still alive. Pretty crucial, but a beautiful surround coming out from DRG. Able to clear up a good chunk of those Hellions. Eventually will be pushed back, and Innovation just needs to kind of keep tabs on everything. Does see the 5th base now for DRG, and already getting kind of spicy. Burrow and Overlord speed on the way for the Zerg.
Ooh, we did see some nice Bailing play in the Lightshade game. So maybe some more Burrow Bailing plays. I would love to see that, because this Burrow Bailing plays are really difficult to pull off. Like, you had to make sure, like, the armies that they're out of all the places on the map that they're standing on top of your Bailings, and we don't really see a.
Got a huge Ling run by going into the natural at the same time. Innovation trying to push across the map. Ling's going to go down towards the 3rd base, still going into the natural at the same time, picking off a lot of those reinforcements. Innovation still stuck across the map with his army. Eventually this does get picked up. Could have been a lot worse there for Innovation than what it was, and now he can go ahead and push on to this 5th base location.
Yeah, surprisingly, not a lot of economic damage with that Ling run by. It was like a perfect open door right there. So well defended there by Innovation considering the circumstance, but even nicer counterattack as he is about to snipe out one of these hatcheries.
Yeah, a really beautiful pick off there for Innovation. Behind it, DRG is going into Infestation Pit, so we'll eventually be able to go up in the Hive, making 30 more Lings and has +2 on the way. Finally getting those Bailings, and Bailing speed is now complete. Looks like DRG trying to come up from the back, looking for a surround. Link's going to go up towards those tanks. Eventually does get a pick off, but we will see Bailing starting to crash in here. Eventually we'll be able to pick all of this off. And there we go. Innovation, though, still ahead. 71 workers with 75 army. But, oh, there we go. Kills off the Banshee. But Innovation ready for another attack. +2 is about halfway done for the Terran. Does have that Widow Mine drilling claws upgrade coming through. Sensor towers. And even adding on a 4th and some additional factories. So, looks like he's going to continue to push onto this. And DRG has to be careful. I mean, he's going to go up into Hive Tech. He's got those additional links. And we'll see where he wants to kind of transition with this, because he can't just stay on Ling Bailing the whole time.
Yeah. Well, right now there is a Ling Bailing counterattack, and actually these Bailings getting some nice connections. But there is the main story is here at the, I guess, maybe 4th base or so of the Zerg. That's a huge Terran army.
Yeah, I mean, tanks in a pretty good position. Splits are pretty well from Innovation. Looks like the Lings and Bailings going to start pushing into this as the Queen's able to transfuse. Takes out the tanks with ease. And we'll be able to take out the Marines for the most part. Queen's trying to focus down the medevacs. We do actually see Innovation pulling back now. He's transitioning into those mines. We've got the Planetary Fortress coming on to the 4th base. And behind this, even DRG taking additional bases and just trying to build up. Now, Hive Tech is done. And eventually we should see, I believe, Ultras with this. We'll see. We'll see where he wants to go with it.
Yeah,
a lot of the tech path is open, so.
Yeah, I think Ultralisk will probably be the tech of choice just because he's been stuck on Ling and Bangling for so long that... And usually when Zerg are stuck on Ling and Bangling for quite some time, they go for a quick Hive Tech. But certainly... Yeah, certainly the Ultralisk then should be plotted down very soon. I'm not sure why he hasn't done so yet.
Yeah, well, he is going into Adrenaline glands. He's got that +3 on the way. Just going very heavy into this Ling Bane style. He's 95 Lings with like 33 Bailings. More on the way. Innovation trying to find some room to breathe to actually get some damage, but not going to get too much. He's going to focus down a Spore Crawler, but just going to get focused down. At the same time, though, with big attack going out towards that third base location, we'll pick up another push. And, I mean, through all of this, DRG's still spreading creep, getting across the map. He's still doing, like, small run-bys here and there. It definitely gets scary for Innovation, but Innovation reaching max out point at this point. He does have those Bailings, and now we have that Ultralisk Cavern finally coming down, so... This gets very scary here from both sides. The big thing right now, though, is it is very Marine heavy on Innovation's side, and against Ultras, you do want to kind of go, I guess, more heavier into those Marauder, and other compositions than what Innovation has. It does have the Widow Mine, so that is pretty nice, but I guess it's just going to depend on how DRG ends up tackling this. But Innovation's still looking very strong here.
This attack here does get cleaned up on the left side, but this right side here might get a hatchery. Nope, looks like there's just too much Bailings. The Lings and Bailings are just buying just the good amount of time for him to start getting those Ultralisks. But the main base here is going to get attacked. Oh, actually does not micro it well. We'll lose the majority and the bulk of that army. So Innovation trying to find some damage with these drops, but DRG is just defending them so well.
At the same time, he is trying to do a little bit of a counterattack across the map. Was trying to attack into that third base location. Unfortunately, the tanks going to make it a little bit tougher. Bailing's going to crash into the mines that were up there. And now the splits coming out from Innovation as these Lings and Banes just trying to find their mark. And eventually we'll be able to clean up a lot of the army. But I think Innovation still kind of holds us. The tanks are on the low ground, so not really going to get the damage that they were seeking. But, yeah, it's just kind of crazy from both sides. Looks like the tank does get taken out. Link's going to be able to clean up the SEVs, and this gets very, very scary for Innovation as we have Ultras already on the way, and I think he's only got one on the way right now, but definitely gets very scary here for Innovation.
Yeah, the good news is that he is starting to add in more Marauders and Liberators into his army. So that is going to deal pretty well against the Ultralisk of DRG. But his economy has taken a hit, so he needs to replenish it by making... Oh, just momentarily attacking his CC. But he needs to replenish it by getting more SCVs and also more orbitals or planetaries here. But DRG is not giving him the chance to do so.
No, really not. Stim is coming out. Mines are trying to burrow down. Eventually, we'll be able to hold off this base without taking too much damage onto the whole of that base. And now going to go for some counterattacks. The Ultra is out to try to help with this, but one Ultra not going to deal that much damage. Queen's going to try to come and help with this as well. But he has to be careful. Bailing's going to crash in and clean this up. Gets a beautiful surround, actually. And DRG is still going to hold himself into this game. Now, a lot of the supply coming out for Innovation is actually in those medevacs. We have to keep that in mind when we look at the army tab here. Even though it is in favor of Innovation at this moment, most of that is going to be just in medevacs. So, not going to have a whole lot of hope. Oh, just gets right outside of that mine. Going to go into the natural is DRG. Same time, it Gonna attack up towards the front. GG's, and DRG gets the victory.